we broke up. It happened really fast when I was in Manila. It happened very suddenly. I feel like it's some kind of universe intervention because I legit did not see it coming. A month ago, I thought everything is perfect. And, what we had was a perfect relationship in every sense. And I felt so loved, understood, and respected throughout. I can do whatever the fuck I want without needing anyone's approval. That, to me, is true confidence. So no, I didn't betray what I stood for. At every point in my life, I lived in alignment with my truth. Before, I loved my flat chest, and now I love my new chest. And if you're disappointed by my decision, I don't expect you to understand.
I think it was a dream starting YouTube and social media, getting up to 2 million followers on that account. But I'm excited for what's gonna come. I'm back home, the place I grew up, and yeah, I'm excited for what's next. I don't know if this. It was a decision that we made because we simply just wanted different things. I moved back to the Philippines 2 months ago, and I just love the Philippines.
A month ago, I thought everything is perfect. And, what we had was a perfect relationship in every sense. And I felt so loved, understood, and respected throughout my relationship. I thought we were aligned on what we want for the future, our values, and everything. But it seemed like sometimes when I think about it, but I am doing okay. Like I said, it was really tough at time, and I did have to take a lot of time out from social media to sort through my emotions. But right now I think I'm okay. I guess it was one of the hardest chores that I have to make this year.
You guys, Clara Dao has finally broken her silence. And what's wild is people aren't buying it. Like, at all. Her new breakup video, it's giving damage control energy. Viewers are calling it calculated, even strategic, and saying it's way too little, way too late. Because let's not forget, this isn't just about a breakup. This is about a total brand collapse. We're talking about a creator who built her platform on empowerment, then flipped it for rage bait and TikTok trends, and now wants sympathy after everything went up in flames. Clara's video is emotional, yeah. She's crying, talking about unconditional love and how tough it's been. But the internet's like, girl, you mocked your audience for months.
Clara Dao was a body-positive influencer who has recently turned over a new leaf and become a huge, unlikable knob who betrayed her entire audience because, get this, she was bored.
You literally clowned the same people who supported you. And now you want empathy? It's giving main character tears after burning the village. So, today we need to talk about what really happened. Why Clara Dao's transformation shook her entire fanbase. Why people think her ex was using her for clout. And why, even with everything crashing around her, some still believe she could have a redemption arc. But first, we've got to rewind to how this whole thing started. Because trust me, the backstory explains everything that's happening right now. Okay, before all the drama, before the rage bait and the breakup fallout, we need to talk about who Clara Dao used to be. Because if you weren't following her back then, you might not realize just how much people looked up to her. She wasn't just a body positivity creator, she was the face of it for flat-chested girls. Like, seriously. Clara made content that felt refreshing in a sea of unrealistic beauty standards.
This is Clara Dao, and she's known in her body positivity content specifically normalizing flat chests and being skinny.
No push-up hacks, no fix-yourself advice, just raw confidence and this energy that said, you're enough exactly the way you are. And that message hit. She built a loyal community, especially among young girls who felt invisible in the mainstream beauty conversation. Clara was different. She was goofy, kind, and real. No filters, no attitude, just that sweet, honest vibe. And people loved her for it. She'd laugh at ridiculous beauty trends and make you feel like you were on FaceTime with your best friend. Her most viral videos weren't about flexing or flaunting, they were about relating. Like that time she wore a top that emphasized her chest and said, "This is for the flat-chested girls who were told they couldn't pull this off." It wasn't performative, it felt personal. She gave a voice to a body type that rarely got represented in the influencer world, and that's what made her stand out. By the time she hit 2 million followers, Clara wasn't just a creator, she was an icon in that niche. She even got featured in body-positive roundups and reaction videos from other creators who praised her for keeping it real. And for a while, it really looked like Clara was on top of the world, happy, humble, and totally in her element. But here's where it starts to shift.
Pretty standard content from videos like this. This is what she got popular for. This is the main thing that people know her for, and she would infiltrate people's For You pages with this body positive content. In a world full of horrible and nasty things, it's good every now and then to have just a purely positive space where somebody could spread the very positive and true message that every body type is worthy of love.
Because as fast as Clara blew up, she also started changing, and not in the usual glow-up way. We're talking sudden changes to her look, her tone, her entire vibe. The sweet, quirky girl who made you feel seen. She slowly turned into someone who joked about betraying her audience, and not just once, but over and over again. And that change, it didn't feel empowering, it felt like betrayal. But what triggered it? Was it pressure from fame? Or was someone behind the scenes influencing those changes? Because the Clara Dao her fans fell in love with? That girl disappeared almost overnight, and the timing of it all is where the conspiracy theories begin. So here's where things get really messy, because not long after Clara's content started shifting, someone new popped up in her videos, her boyfriend. And at first, people were happy for her, like genuinely. She looked smitten. They seemed cute together, and fans were rooting for her to have both love and success. But then something felt off. The content started revolving around him. Her captions changed. Her tone changed. Even her personality felt different. And we're not talking about small changes. We're talking major shifts in energy. Suddenly, Clara wasn't the voice for the flat-chested girlies anymore. She was posting glow-ups, talking about her new chest, and giving off this almost mocking energy like, "Yeah, I changed. Deal with it." And the internet immediately started asking questions. Was she being pressured to change? Was he subtly, or not so subtly,
that being too flat in particular should not disparage anybody from wearing the dress that they want to. So yeah, as you can see, the rabbit hole goes a lot deeper than body positivity specifically just for flat chests. It goes with, every outlet of body positivity, which is a great thing. Body hair, facial features, skinniness, flat chests, flat bums, it don't matter. The whole point of this account right here is to spread the message that every body type is worthy of love, no matter how you look.
encouraging her to abandon what she built her platform on. Now let's be clear. Clara has denied that he had anything to do with her transformation. She said multiple times that the decision to get surgery and pivot her content was all her own, but the fans weren't convinced. The shift happened too fast, too drastically, and the vibe, it just didn't feel like Clara anymore. One comment that blew up on TikTok literally said, "He's using her for clout. Watch." And that one comment ended up with tens of thousands of likes, because once you start looking at the timeline, it's hard to ignore the pattern. She changed, she rebranded, she posted about how he was her soulmate, her everything. And then, the breakup. But it wasn't just that they broke up, it was how they broke up that sent the internet into a frenzy. Her breakup video was full of tears, raw emotions, heartfelt words about love and growth. But his? Shirtless, smiling, almost glowing. And the contrast was insane. Like, who ends a relationship on camera while looking like they're about to head to brunch with the boys? Fans were immediately like, did he even care? Was this relationship real? Was she just a stepping stone? And honestly, we can't say for sure. But what we can say is this. The breakup didn't just break Clara's heart, it cracked open every suspicion fans already had. And what happened next? Wasn't sympathy, it was backlash. So, after that breakup, Clara Dao didn't just lose a relationship, she lost the last bit of goodwill her audience had left. And let me tell you, the shift from admiration to full-on outrage was brutal.
And as you can see from comments that were posted at the time of their release, not the recent ones, that's a very important distinction, most people were very appreciative of these videos being made. I'm sure many people watching right now, I have a mainly female audience, probably knew about this girl beforehand and, I don't know, took some solace in watching the video. This person even responded to their own comment half a year later saying that they're gonna cry because they got their confidence from Clara and now she's like that.
People who once defended her were now leading the charge against her. Her comment sections filled up with the same viewers who used to hype her up, now calling her fake, manipulative, and worse. And it wasn't just because of the breakup, it was everything that led up to it. See, Clara didn't just change, she rubbed it in. She joked about leaving body positivity behind. She made snarky videos that felt like she was mocking the very people who made her famous. She even did this bit where she said she'd never go back to body positivity, then immediately contradicted herself the next day. It felt careless, and fans felt played. And TikTok went feral. Hate edits, stitch videos, duets calling her out. People were digging up old videos, comparing them to her recent content, pointing out how much she had sold out. There was even this one viral comment that said, "She betrayed us, and now she's crying because her clout plan backfired." And it had tens of thousands of likes. Meanwhile, YouTube was a little more forgiving. At first, the comments were like, "Let's be kind, she's going through a hard time," and "everyone changes." But even that didn't last long, because as the breakup videos kept coming and the tone stayed inconsistent, sad in one video, smug in another, people started calling her out there too. The core issue? It wasn't that Clara changed, it was how she changed. With this almost smug energy, like she knew people would be mad and she was daring them to react. And now that they did, she's surprised by the hate? Yeah, no, that's not how the internet works. So instead of sympathy, Clara got a full-blown backlash. Not just for getting surgery, not just for the breakup, but for acting like her fans were disposable. And unfortunately for her, they didn't go quietly. So after weeks of silence while the internet tore her apart, Clara finally hit upload on a new video.
What does this person mean when they say that Clara is now like that? Well, that's what this video is about. Before we move on, I want to make it clear that this person has not been void of controversy until, like, these recent events. In fact, the very first introduction that I had to her a couple years back was a bad one, to say the least. My first impression of this lassie gave me the idea that she was just another one of these sort of vain, narcissist, weirdo, Black Mirror-esque TikTok influencers.
And if you're thinking she came back with an apology or some kind of accountability moment, think again. Instead, what we got was a carefully lit, emotionally vulnerable, softly spoken breakup video. She's crying, she's heartbroken, and she's thanking her fans for their support. And immediately, people were split. Half the comments were like, "She's human too, give her grace." Others, not so forgiving. One of the top TikTok replies summed it up perfectly. "You mocked your audience for months. Now you want them to feel bad for you?" Because here's the thing. Clara didn't just make mistakes, she doubled down on them. For months. She rage baited. She joked about body positivity like it was some silly phase. She made content that practically screamed, "You fell for it, and I'm richer now because of you." And now, this soft, sorrowful version of Clara saying she still has love in her heart? Yeah, people aren't sure if they're watching a healing influencer or a Hail Mary PR stunt. Let's break it down. In her video, Clara says the breakup was mutual, that they wanted different things. She talks about self-love, about choosing herself, but viewers couldn't stop comparing her tone to her ex's breakup video, where he was literally shirtless and grinning. And that contrast made people suspicious. Like, was she really heartbroken? Or just trying to soften the blow and win back some public favor? Some fans say she's clearly devastated. Others say she's playing the victim only because her clout game backfired. Either way, the damage had already been done.
It was this video that introduced me to her, for those interested.
And let's not forget, this isn't her first "I'm back" moment. Clara's bounced in and out of different versions of herself over the past year, each one further from the Clara people originally loved. So when she says she's choosing herself now, Some people are like, girl, you already chose. Months ago, you chose rage bait, clout, and a guy who's now living his best life without you. Still, there's a lingering question in the air. Is Clara Dao actually sorry? Or just sorry she got caught? Because a redemption arc is possible, but only if the next move is real. So here's the million-dollar question. Can Clara Dao actually come back from this? Because let's be honest, YouTube cancel culture doesn't always stick. We've seen creators fumble harder than this and still make a comeback. But the thing with Clara, her downfall wasn't one scandal. It was slow. It was messy. It was personal. She didn't just make a mistake. She shattered the identity she built. The whole Clara Dao brand was trust. It was relatability. It was giving girls the message that they didn't need to change for anyone. And then she did exactly that. Publicly. With a smirk. So no, people aren't going to just forget. Not because she got surgery, not because she changed, but because she mocked her own message. And once you laugh at the people who built you up, how do you expect them to stay? Now, some fans are saying she deserves a second chance, that everyone evolves, that maybe she was manipulated, maybe she really believed that guy was her forever person.
Obviously, I was not annoyed by the cause that she was trying to support here. I think that goes without saying, hopefully. What annoyed me is the same thing that annoys me about so many of these sort of weird Black Mirror-esque TikTokers. When something serious happens that affects a large group of people, they get the little phone out, they press record, they sit it on the table, they pull a couple sad faces, try their best to like muster some tears up and do the most obvious fake cry in the world like this girl's doing here.
And maybe she lost herself in the process. And sure, those things could be true. But here's the thing. Redemption requires accountability. And Clara hasn't really done that. Not fully. Not yet. She's cried. She's talked about heartbreak. She's talked about choosing herself. But she hasn't directly addressed the fact that she built a loyal community and then rage baited them for months. She hasn't apologized for the mocking tone, for the contradictions, for cashing in on vulnerability, and then throwing it away like it was just another content phase. And unless she does, the road to redemption stays closed. Because here's the truth about online audiences. They'll forgive a lot, but they won't forgive being played. Not when they trusted you, not when they saw themselves in you. So yes, Clara could make a comeback. She could start over, rebuild, speak honestly about what happened, admit the shift, admit the clout chase, be real again. But that would take vulnerability, accountability, and a whole lot of humility. And right now, we haven't seen that yet. So what happens next for Clara Dao? Honestly, that's up to her. Right now, she's standing at a crossroads, and both paths are rough. She can either double down, keep doing what she's doing, and slowly fade into the background as just another influencer who flew too close to the algorithm. Or she can stop, look in the mirror, and choose to rebuild. But rebuilding won't be easy, because the trust she broke, that wasn't algorithm-based. That was real. She built a community. People who felt seen, who felt safe in her content, people who cried with her, laughed with her, defended her, and then she turned that community into a punchline. So now, even if she wants to come back, she's going to have to earn every single follower all over again. Not with aesthetics, not with a soft voice and sad music, but with honesty. She's going to have to sit down, no script, no spin, and actually talk about the why she changed, why she made the choices she did, and why people should believe in her again. Because right now, they don't. The Clara Dao that people once loved was raw, funny, flawed, but always real. She didn't need to rage bait, she didn't need to flex, she just needed to show up as herself. And that version of Clara, people would still show up for her, every time. But if she keeps pretending like this is all just a misunderstanding, if she keeps skipping past the accountability part, then no amount of tears will fix what's broken. The weird part? People want her to come back. They want to forgive her. They want that sweet, kind, relatable Clara back in their feed. Because let's be honest, there aren't a lot of influencers like that anymore. But the question is, does she want to be that again? Or is she too far gone? That's what we're all watching now. Not the breakup, not the tears, but the choice. Because this isn't just Clara Dao's fall. It could be the start of her redemption arc, or the final chapter in a story that ended the moment she forgot who she was.